Well, hello, school counselors and school counselors to be. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, The Inspiring School Counselor. And today, you guys, we're going to be getting into another viewer's question. And I just want to take out the time to say thank you all that are sending those questions in, whether you are emailing me those questions or you're just putting it in a comment underneath one of my videos. I appreciate you guys so much, because not only me answering those questions are going to help you, but it's also going to help other school counselors and school counselors to be. Now, let's say you are watching this and you have a question that you would like for me to address. All you have to do is just email me at theinspiringschoolcounselor@gmail.com, and I will get to it as soon as I can. So I'm excited to be getting into this viewer's question. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. All right, let's get into it. So the question is, good day. I love your YouTube channel and thank you kindly for sharing your knowledge with us. I am a new school counselor and I don't know what I am going to be facing next month. So is it possible if you can give me a few tips, and what kind of disorder do you encounter as a school counselor and how do you deal with them? I would be grateful if you can get back with me. Thanks a lot and God bless. So first I would like to say is thank you so much for you taking the time out to watch my videos and reaching out to me. It's very much appreciated. And another thing I want to say is you had said something about you are a new school counselor and you don't know what you're going to be facing next month. I just want to let you know you are not by yourself. Even I don't know what I'm going to be facing next month when it's coming to working with students. And so with that being said, you kind of just have to take each situation as it comes and just be confident that you are equipped to be able to take on that situation. Even if you have to look up stuff and do your research and ask different ones to kind of help you. So I just want to make sure I put that out there. So the first thing that I want to address is, what kind of disorders do you encounter as a school counselor and how do you deal with them? So for one, as a school counselor, you guys know that you're going to be encountering different disorders, different disabilities that students are dealing with. And it's so important that you make sure that you do your research, especially when you're knowing the type of disorder that that student has or disability that that student has, so that you can figure out, okay, what services can you offer that will help that student in order to prosper in school. And so that is going to be very important. And whenever you are dealing with a disorder or disability that is outside of your expertise, outside of the services that you can really provide, then don't be afraid to reach out to others in the community or others in the school. Maybe you have to reach out to your special education teacher in the school to see about what some services that you can get them to offer or get together for that particular student. And of course, you're going to be getting the parents involved. And ultimately, it is going to be up to the parent whether that student gets the services that they need, but at least that you're doing your part, and that is advocating for that student. So just to let you guys know some of the disorders that I came across with working with students, and just let you guys know it is not limited to what I am telling you. I'm just naming off some that comes to mind, but I've dealt with students that have, of course, ADHD, ADD. I've also dealt with students that have social anxiety disorders, dyslexic, have general anxiety issues, or even depression. I also have dealt with a student that has said that they heard voices and the voices are telling them to hurt other students. And so we had to really put something in place for that student so that they can be safe and others can be safe. But I also dealt with students that deal with a lot of suicidal ideation. And also there are some disorders and disabilities that students deal with that might not be diagnosed with those things. And that's why it's also important for you to, once again, advocate for the child, because if it is that you are seeing these things that this child is dealing with, and not saying that you you are diagnosing them, because that is not what we do. We do not diagnose students. That is for the school psychologists to do that. But they can at least be on your radar, and you can talk to maybe a school psychologist about what you are seeing, even talking to the teachers to see if they are seeing anything, so that you guys can have that meeting, talk to parents to see about getting that student services. So those are some of the disorders that I have experienced, and I'm pretty sure that there's many more disorders that I have came across with students. I think the second part of that question was, how do I deal with them? So for instance, if I have a student that is dealing with ADHD, I have worked with teachers to try to come up with accommodations. And this is where the 504s come in. And I'm going to be doing a video soon on 504s. In fact, somebody had actually requested for me to do a video on that, you guys. And as you guys know, I'm learning as I go with the 504s. And as soon as I feel confident enough to do an actual video on it, I will definitely post it. The 504s are #1 keys that I have used to help me to be able to help students that are dealing with disabilities such as ADHD, OCD, those type of things. And most of the time, the parent will request a 504 to be put in place. But there has been a time where I actually, talk to the parent to see if they would be interested in getting a 504 for a student having a tough time in the learning environment. So seeing about putting like a 504 in place so that we can come up with some type of accommodations for that student. So that is one example in a way that I was able to help students with specific disorders. Another thing that I have done was I would use, and I actually posted this video about Fidget Toys. I actually had tried to incorporate Fidget Toys, or making sure I'm reminding the teachers to use like their calm corners. So if there's a student that, just feel like they always have to move, I try to work with the teacher to try to put in breaks for that student, even if it's just a 3-minute break, that they go to the calm corner for 3 minutes. And when that 3 minutes up, they come back to the learning environment. And the calm corner is in the teacher's classroom. So I want to make sure I let you guys know that. So that is something that I've done. Or even yet, I would go to the classroom and that student will come with me and they'll have their break. So it just depends on what's going on, but that is something that I have done as well. As you guys know, for one, you're going to be dealing with students that have some major behavior issues. And so with that being said, those reward systems really played a big part in helping students that I have dealt with be successful. I would work with the teacher and we would try to set up some type of a reward system to try to motivate them to make good choices. And those usually do pretty good as well. It's trial and error, and you just gotta try different things in order to help them. Now, sometimes you'll run into where 504s are not going to be suffice for that student. And so they're going to need special education services. And so this is where your IEPs come in. Now, I do not work with IEPs at all. I only work with 504s, but I have dealt with students that, they start off on a 504 and then it was like, okay, 504 is not working. We're going to have to try to transition them into getting some special education services. So I would talk to my special education teacher and then we'll have a meeting. She would be in it. I would be, of course, in it, my principal, and then the parents. And then we'll try to get something together, some special education services. And obviously that whole process and getting that set up, and there is a whole different process than 504s, but at least you have something in the works for that student. The next part of that question says, I'm a new school counselor and I don't know what I'm going to be facing next month. So is it possible if you can give me a few tips? So if I were to give a few tips, for one, I did post on my channel. I think it was like a first-time school counselor. I'll try to remember to put it on the card up above and also in the description down below. But I already give you like some tips as a new school counselor, what you can do. So feel free to click on that video so that you can watch that. But if you are teaching lessons, I would definitely say send out a needs assessment so that you can create lessons that is going to fit those students' needs. So you want to do that. Also, that needs assessment is going to help you gather for your small groups that you can do as well. And I also posted a video on how to do like a needs assessment using Google Forms. So I'm going to try to put that in the description down below and the card up above. So that is something you can do as well. Another thing I would say is to understand your roles and duties at the school that you are working at, because that is going to be so important, especially when you're trying to get your whole schedule together and the things that you're going to be doing throughout the day. And also it will give you an opportunity to see, okay, how many non-school counseling tasks are you assigned to, and what are some conversations that you're going to have with your administrator to see if there's any way that you can kind of move your schedule around, or maybe not even do some of the non-school counseling tasks. Another thing I would say as well is to talk to your administrator. That is so important, so that you guys can sit down and talk about just things that she expects from you as a school counselor. You can get kind of her view as well. But I list a lot more different things in my video, so once again, make sure you go and watch that. So that's pretty much everything that I have for this question. I hope that this was able to help you guys. And if I left out anything, please feel free to comment down below. I know I would love to read it, and I know others would love to read it as well. And you guys just continue to enjoy your year. And once again, if you have any questions for me, make sure you email me at theinspiringschoolcounselor@gmail.com, and I will get with you as soon as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thank you guys so much for your time. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.